Good morning, everyone. This is Lady T, and you're watching Life with Lady T. It has been a very interesting weekend. So, I usually have a different, I had something already set up for today's discussion, but I must discuss what happened to me on yesterday. Yesterday, I've been telling you that I don't know if I haven't been telling you that my knees are very, very bad. They're actually bone on bone. Uh, I have very bad arthritis in them. It has been going on for years. It's gotten worse as the months gone on, especially since I fell down those stairs but a few months back. My knees were even worse. I mean, I literally could hardly get off the sofa, off the floor when I did my stretches. Um, I it was just painful, very, very painful. But yesterday, when I woke up, Sunday morning, I did a little stretch in the bed, stretched my toes out, my feet out, um, put my legs up, stretched them out a little bit, put them down, etc. Got about the bed and did not think anything of it. Went about my morning, my morning coffee, etc. And decided to look up some apps to find out if I can put music to some of the songs that I've written many years ago. And so I started looking through my papers, and all of a sudden, here's this paper fall out. It didn't fall out, kind of like it was just jumbled up in the papers that I had. And it said, "That saved a wretch like me." And it was typed in big, bold black letters. And I remember doing that. I remember typing that up over 20 years ago. And I finally read through it, and I had typed it up because it was a very, very difficult time in my life at that time. My car had broke down. The house pipes had broke. My son's wedding was coming up. I didn't have any money in the bank. Electric bill was due. It was just a big mess. And I wrote this two and a half page typed um, basically story. It wasn't a story; it was true, but I wrote it down in a story format, sort of, just for my own sanity, I think. And so when I read it, it just reminded me that there are people that need this encouragement and know that you've been going through something as well. People think that, oh, they look good, they're having fun, blah, 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 everything is going good. Well, everything is going good for me right now. I'm having a wonderful life at this retirement age, and I've learned so much throughout my life. But at that point, I was going through something. I had to share that with a dear friend, and it touched them. And when I when I initially read it, I knew exactly who I was supposed to read this paper to. So I did, and it made them feel better. At least it encouraged them, and I felt encouraged. I mean, we both cried. We cried over the phone as we discussed this. And then I walked back in the house, and I was just walking, and I was like, you know what? My knees aren't hurting. I'm getting up off this couch pretty darn good and fast. And I mean, it was so amazing that I had to walk. I was like walking faster to see in the kitchen. I'm walking fast around the table to see what's going on. My knees are feeling perfect. My knees are feeling great. It is amazing. I mean, I have been in so much chronic pain every day. I promise you guys. I might look like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling fine, but I was in chronic pain every day. And today and yesterday, I woke up feeling amazing. So after that, I wasn't going to go to church. And then after these two things occurred, I just felt like I had to go to church. So I looked at the clock and I said, "Oh God, I can make it to the 10:30 service." So put on my clothes. I went to church, and there was a pastor preaching there that I hadn't heard before, and he actually preached longer than we normally have our sermons for. And but the last message that was on the screen said, "When you hear from Jesus, when you hear from Jesus, it propels you to worship." And I heard from Jesus yesterday with my niece, my friend's message that I had to forward to her. I heard from Jesus, and it propelled me to go and worship. Now, I told you in the beginning, I'm a believer. If you're not, that's fine. I am nothing against you. I'm just sharing what I feel and how I feel. I was raised this way. I continue to believe. I read my Bible. Um, this is my music, etc. Not to say I don't do other stuff. I mean, we enjoy life and things like that. But God has put us here to enjoy life anyway. So just be, do the right thing. So after that, after I went to church, I decided to go get some incense. Now, there's a smoke shop right near my area, so they sell incense. It's like 10 for 250, I think it was. Because we had went to the flea market the other day and we saw the incense and they were smelling so good. And my husband said, "Oh, stop and get some." And I was like, "No, I'll get some. There's a store near us that I can just pick some up." So I went there. Time I walked in the door, the gentleman, African American young man, got his long dreadlocks, very neat young man. He said, "Yeah, didn't make it to church today, but I looked at it online." And I said, "Oh, well, that's good. I do that too." He said, "Yeah, yeah, okay." That's that. I said, "Yeah." And we just talked a little bit more briefly. And then the next thing, I felt that I had to share my knee story with him. I shared it, and he was like, "Oh my God, that is wonderful." I said, "The thing about it is that all this happened this morning to me, and I went to church, and I told him I go to one of those churches like 30 minutes, and the sermon is over." And he said, "Oh, so do I." And I said, "Oh yeah." And he said, "I go to Journey." And I said, "You go to Journey? That's my church." And he was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you go to Journey." I said, "Yes, I go to Journey." And we kept on talking. And then after the conversation ended, I got my incense. I was walking out the door and I said, "Oh yeah, what time do you go to service?" And he said, 8:30, the 8:30 service. And I said, "I go to the 8:30 service." So I am sure I'm going to be seeing this young man in church going forward. It was just a wonderful, wonderful day. Amazing. And then I met a young man at the pool. I went outside to sit at the pool. Met this young man. He actually not a young man. He's 52. He's younger than me. But we talked and talked and enjoyed ourselves at the pool. Some great fellowship at the pool. It was just a fabulous day. I was so overwhelmed. My body was reacting. It was like shaking almost. I was crying. I would call my mom and I was just telling her I love her. I love her. I had a very spiritual day yesterday. And I had to share that with you this morning because I had to share it. So I want you guys to be encouraged that life is wonderful. He wants us here to just pursue, our purposes on this earth and enjoy life and, just take one day at a time, keep positive, help people, love on people. And hey, this is Lady T, and you're watching Life with Lady T. That's all I got for you. Have a wonderful day. It's beautiful outside, as you can see, but the sunshine is very bright here in Florida. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, and bye. Oops, can't end.